Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. Today is going to be a little lighthearted video. You know, nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. I thought today's video would be very fun if we went through every single film that is an adaptation of a graphic novel, comic book, whatever you want to call it, but just go through and have fun with this and just sort of rank them in a tier list that I've made. And here in a second, we're going to go through all of the tiers that we have, but obviously there's going to be some movies that I definitely know I've missed. I try to compile everything that I could though, and there definitely is some that I've absolutely missed, so just know that. Let's go ahead and go through the tier list. We're going to break down every single tier, talk about what goes in there, why it goes in there, and we'll get started. Alright? So the tier list that I've made is right here. We have the blueprint. That's going to be top tier shit. It's going to be best of the best. Only the heavy hitters get in there. We got great movies that are, you know, pretty decent. I would say like plenty of people will think movies that are in the great tier will probably belong in the blueprint, but it doesn't work that way. This is my list, so I'm going to put whatever I want in there. We have exceptional. You'll notice that it's the shade isn't a huge difference, but it's there. There's a noticeable difference. It's exceptional. It stands out amongst other comic book films. We have good. I feel like that one's pretty self-explanatory. It was a good movie. It's gonna go in there. We got yummy garbage. These are movies that I would say probably aren't that great. Some might even say are bad. It's gonna go in there if I had fun with it. If it's the kind of movie I would say like is a guilty pleasure. We have it's there, it's fine. Movies that I would say I don't particularly love as well as don't particularly hate might go in there. Movies that I just maybe forgot existed, you know, and maybe some of these would warrant a rewatch. We have fan service. Pretty self-explanatory right there. That doesn't necessarily make the movie bad, but it just means that it suffers from fan service, which over time I think makes the movie bad. Over time, like I said, and there's one movie specifically I'm thinking of that's probably going to make it go in there for that reason. We'll come back to this one. Competently made. These are movies that I would say, unfortunately, maybe did not see the best outcome when it comes to audience reception, maybe, you know, made by someone who definitely knows how to make a movie, but just things didn't go their way, unfortunately. We have literal doggy doo-doo. This is gonna be the worst of the worst. These are gonna be films that I think don't really have much of like a redeeming quality, just, you know, absolute dog doo-doo. I feel like that's the list. You'll notice that a good amount of these are movies that are just comic book adaptations. Some of them are graphic novels that turn into movies that people probably don't know are graphic novels. We'll go ahead and just get started. You know, there's going to be different sections of this that are done. We have some of like the DC movies that aren't part of the DCEU. These are the DCEU ones right here. And then you kind of start to get to some of the Batman. We got the MCU. We have the Sonyverse. We have all the Marvel movies that aren't part of the MCU or any sort of like extended universe. But yeah, and I feel like this is going to take me a while. So make sure you hydrate. First up, we got Green Lantern. And the thing with Green Lantern is this movie gets a lot of crap. I haven't seen this since it came out, I don't think. Like, I think 2010, 2011 maybe. Competently made. It's not like the worst thing I've ever seen. I remember seeing this when I was like 12 or 13, and I didn't think it was doggy doo-doo, but who knows? I might go back and revisit it someday, and I might not hate it as much as everybody else does. Jonah Hex. I feel like that's also just competently made. I'm sure it's a bad movie, and it might be literal doggy doo-doo. Actually, there might be like a category I might add in between competently made and doggy doo-doo, but as of now, it's just gonna go with competently made. Catwoman, starring Halle Berry. This is yummy garbage. Listen, I know that this is probably like the worst one between these three right now, but I want to revisit Catwoman so bad. Not because I think it's going to be like amazing or even like a fun movie, but I just feel like it's going to make me laugh so much. There's one clip specifically that I'm thinking about that every time I think about it, like, I can't believe it's from a real movie. And I just, you know, I gotta watch it. I gotta see it again. Constantine. I feel like this is a pretty good movie. I could be wrong. It's been a few years since I've seen it, but I do like Constantine. Hellboy. Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy, dude. It's a good movie. And the reason I'm putting it in good is because Hellboy 2 is probably going up here somewhere. I love Hellboy 2. I'm going to grab Watchmen, the director's cut, and put it over here next to Watchmen, the theatrical cut. And the only reason I'm doing that, so I can do both of these. The theatrical cut of Watchmen, I would say, is good. It's good. I personally don't think it's great. I don't even think it's exceptional. I think it's good. The director's cut, though? Great. Great movie. I love the director's cut of Watchmen. It's just, I like a good long movie. But also, I like Zack Snyder more than most people, I feel like, so. We're going to keep Joker here for a minute. I'm not touching that for a second. Judge Dredd. I haven't seen this since I was a kid. So I'm not going to put this in like the bad tier. I'm not going to put it in the good tier. It's there. It's fine. I saw this with my dad when I was way too young to have watched it. So Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. This is going in... It's going in great. Hellboy, the David Harbour one, I think? Yeah, this is the David Harbour one. Competently made. Which, like, I hate to put it in there. Because I actually really like David Harbour as Hellboy, but the movie itself just was not very good. We got Batman. I think this was the 60s one. You know, actually, this is a pretty fun movie. It's kind of goofy, but it's fun. It's not yummy garbage, but it's fine. It's got its moments. It's a bit dated, but it's fine. The first Joker, Todd Phillips' Joker, it's good. It's good. It's fine. It's nothing crazy, but it's good. I'll give it that. I don't think it's as good as everybody else thinks it is, but it's good. I don't hate Folie à Deux as much as everybody else does, but it's there. It's fine. I think it tries some things, which I can respect. And I like that it tries things. But one thing I don't love is that it has Lady Gaga, one of the best singers in the world, and she just sidelined the entire movie. And when she does sing, it just doesn't really feel like they're using her to their advantage. Like, why is she here? Superman, the first one, the first Superman's pretty good. We got Superman 2. I think Superman 2 is exceptional. And here's the thing. Yeah, that's Superman 2. Whether it's the Richard Donner cut, or if it's the theatrical cut, it's going in here regardless, so I don't need to do two of these like I did with Watchmen. I'm not worried about that. Superman 3, competently made. It's not the worst thing. But Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, actually, nah, we're gonna add another tier. Because it's not doggy doo-doo, but it's not a great movie either. And it's gonna be, nah, it's gotta be red. It's gotta be red or else it doesn't work. Alright, we're gonna put, can I fucking spell? It's a bad movie. I saw that documentary with Christopher Reeves, the one that's about his injury, and listen, I totally get it, but it's not the best movie. It's unfortunate. Superman Returns. I feel like this movie gets a lot of shit, and I thought it was pretty good. But again, I might have to revisit a lot of these because who knows? This actually might be a pretty bad movie. It might be it's there, it's fine. It might be garbage. But I remember liking this as a kid. I was 8 when this came out, so cut me some slack there. Dread. Yummy garbage. Because I actually don't know if this is actually good. I feel like I see clips from this all the time on like social media, and I think like, wow, that looks fucking incredible. And then I think about rewatching. I'm like, nah, that was not the best movie. But I feel like I liked this a lot when I saw it. I saw it in 3D, so I thought like, wow, that was a really fun movie. But I think I'm probably gonna go back and watch it and be like, wow, that's not the best movie ever. Okay, so it looks like we're at the second list of like stuff that's happened here, and most of this list that I've done already so far are just like DC movies that aren't really tied to like a specific property. So like Superman, Joker, those are movies that are kind of their own thing. Hellboy is the same thing. Constantine, Catwoman. You'll notice that most of what I have on this list right now is all going to be like DCEU stuff, and I think a lot of this became separated, so it could be that some of them are lost in there, but I try to keep them all together, so we're going to try and see if we can keep this all together in order. Alright, we're going to go ahead and jump into the DCEU. Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel is pretty good. Actually, no, I'm going to go ahead and put it in exceptional, because I feel like Man of Steel doesn't get the credit it deserves. I think the last 20 minutes kind of fall off for me, I'm not gonna lie. I think the last like moments of the movie where he's just destroying the city, you can say what you want, alright? Roast me in the comments, I don't care. I know that everybody loves Zack Snyder. I love Zack Snyder, by the way. This isn't me dunking on him, but those last 20 minutes fall off for me. But it's a good movie. I feel like it's one that I come back to pretty consistently. And continuing in fashion with like the director's cuts with Zack Snyder, we have the Watchmen director's cut being separated. I'm gonna do the same thing with Dawn of Justice, because Dawn of Justice, the theatrical cut, it's there, it's fine. I think the director's cut, or the ultimate edition, whatever you want to call it, I don't care, exceptional. It makes it a significantly better movie. It also helps that I'm like a huge shill for IMAX, and I have that 4K edition that has like the IMAX ratio built into all the scenes, so. And it's like the 4:3 IMAX too, so yeah. I like watching that version. I don't know. It does something for me. It scratches that little itch in my brain. We're gonna keep going. We got Suicide Squad, and the reason I added the competently made category isn't for movies that I just think are competently made. I look at the competently made category as like a resting burial ground for movies like Suicide Squad and Fantastic Four. Movies that unfortunately just were out of the hands of the person creating them. And unfortunately, David Ayer's Suicide Squad is just that movie. Like, it sucks because there are some really great moments that you could tell are there, but unfortunately just they end up feeling like a movie that could have been really decent and just wasn't because the studio was too involved. Wonder Woman, we got. I remember Wonder Woman being a pretty good movie from when I saw it. And the thing is every time I've watched it since, it has decreased in quality for me. That's not to say it's a bad movie, but it has. And I might revisit all of these movies at some point soon, and maybe I could do like a follow-up video of like, the fuck is wrong with you, dude? I might do a follow-up video at some point where I just talk about all of these movies and say like, I was wrong, or I was right, stuff along those lines. Alright, before I do Justice League, Joss Whedon's Justice League, I want it to be known that as far as this goes, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, yes, it is Zack Snyder's vision just torn to crap. It feels like it's been desecrated, but if we're being honest, from a purely technical standpoint, as a film, it's there. It's fine. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. And I think after you watched Zack Snyder's Justice League, it feels worse than it actually is. Don't really think it's actually that bad of a movie. It's fine. It's not the worst thing in the world. We have the first Aquaman. It has its moments. It's fun, but it does ultimately kind of feel like it feels like every time I've watched it, it's not been the best. We've got Shazam. It's there. It's fine. There's nothing yummy or garbage about it, unfortunately. There's this. Birds of Prey. It's there. It's fine. Could be worse. Zack Snyder's Justice League. Listen. I'm putting this up there. It's going up there. I love Zack Snyder's Justice League. Say what you want about it, but I'm a sucker for a long movie. I like Zack Snyder a lot. I respect his vision. I don't even really think it's like that up there. I'm just putting it up there out of pure respect, because I really do think like when I watch this movie, it feels like I'm watching an event. It feels like I'm watching someone's pure vision that has not been tampered with. And that's more than I can say for like a good majority of the DCEU movies that are in this list. And the studio just finally said, all right, fuck it. We'll let you do it. We have James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. And the thing with this Suicide Squad movie too, is I know that everybody kind of holds it in a higher regard than the original Suicide Squad that David Ayer did, is that it is a better movie. But not by much. It's there. It's fine. I've never once had the urge to revisit this since it's released. That's unfortunate. Shazam! Fury of the Gods? Is that what it's called? For Fury of the Gods? It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. It's not the best. It's a bad movie. Some of these definitely came out before. I don't know why these are at the end. We're going to do Wonder Woman 84 real fast, because I think these came out around... Actually, I think Wonder Woman 84 came out before Shazam! Fury of the Gods and Suicide Squad. I don't know why it's all the way back here. Wonder Woman 84... It's a bad movie. I saw Wonder Woman 84. I didn't think it was that bad. And then I watched the original one immediately after, and I was like, yeah, no, that was a bad movie. Black Adam. Literal doggy doo-doo. I can't remember anything about this movie. I'll be honest with you. I remember, like, literally nothing about it. Which is really sad. Blue Beetle. Which I think came out before The Flash. But Blue Beetle is also kind of a... It's there, it's fine kind of deal for me. Because I remember thinking when I watched it, like, it was alright. But there's nothing that's really made me think about this movie more than once since I watched it. The Flash. And I think this is the first one that gets a new spot. Fan service. It's fan service. What else can I say about The Flash, man? Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I actually haven't seen this yet. And I haven't seen it because it just kind of came and went. And I don't think I talked to a single person who was like, yo, you gotta watch Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, dude. It's so good. Alright, so we're just gonna go ahead and skip one of the Batman movies. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know why Adam West's Batman wasn't in here. Where's Batman Begins? Where's Batman Begins? Why isn't it in here? Dude, I know I put Batman Begins in that list. Hold on. There we go. It's gonna go in between these two just so I have it ready to do when we need to. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and go with Batman 1989. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I've never loved these movies. Michael Keaton's Batman is fine. I do think Batman Returns is a step up for me. It's a good movie, but I still don't think these are all that great. I know that everybody kind of loves them. I know that these two movies have its defenders, and I want to go through and like really evaluate them completely from a different standpoint, because I know that there's a lot of great points on these movies that people have made about them being campy and just the style and just the fact that it was made by a gay man and everything that surrounds it, you know. I feel like I would really like these movies if I really sat down and really analyzed them from a very critical perspective. But every time I've wanted to do this, I've like really not liked them. And the thing on both of these is that Batman Forever is actually, it's watchable, like it's there, it's fine. I think it was Batman and Robin that I was like, I just can't do this. So I hope it's these two that I have right. If this is the one with Val Kilmer, which I think it is, I always get confused with the titles, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, but I think it's this one. On to the Nolan Batmans. We've got Batman Begins, and these aren't very hard to do. These are easy. This is exceptional. Great movie. Great movie. I think y'all know where this is going. This is the blueprint. This is like, and I know that everybody has it up there. That's what's crazy, is I could put this, I think everybody's aware that, you know, The Dark Knight's just like legitimately one of the best comic book movies ever made. I don't care. You know, it is one of those things I think people will acknowledge. Feels overhyped when you're not watching it, and then you go back and watch it, you're like, wow, that was a really great movie. The Dark Knight Rises. I'd say it's as good as Batman Begins. It's got its flaws, it has its moments, but it's decent. Matt Reeves, the Batman. Gonna say that one's great. I don't think it's crossed that threshold for me yet, and it might someday, but as of now, it's just gonna stay there. I don't want to do the MCU yet, so we're gonna go and skip all 20, maybe 30 of these. I probably should have mentioned it earlier as well. We're only doing movies, not TV shows. So you've probably been wondering where those are at. But I'm only doing movies. I didn't want to do TV shows because at that point the list would just be way too long. We're going to go through the list of some of the like Marvel movies that are not part of the cinematic universe. Like just, you know, one and dones. Movies that were made in like the 80s, 90s, 2000s. Howard the Duck. It's competently made. Some might even say it's bad, but I've seen worse. I have seen much worse than this. So we're going to roll with that. We've got Blade. The thing with Blade is pretty good. But the only thing better than Blade 1 is Blade 2. And then Blade Trinity, which is competently made. Some might say bad, but it's competently made. It's got its moments. The Punisher, 2004, which is, I think it's a pretty good movie. I could be wrong. Again, I haven't seen a lot of these in years. Punisher Warzone, dude, I feel like I saw this one time when it came out. Even when I saw it, I was like, this is a bad movie. And I was not old, and I was so young, and even I knew that it was a bad movie. We've got Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. And the thing about Ghost Rider is it's yummy garbage. I grew up watching this with my dad, and I think about it all the time. I had so much fun with it growing up. But unfortunately, Spirit of Vengeance, bad movie. Bad movie. Fantastic Four, I feel like it's there. It's fine. I feel like I go back and watch this and it's got its moments. Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, kind of feels like a step down. Competently made. And Fantastic, Josh Trank's Fantastic. Unfortunately, we have 2 movies in there now that are Fantastic Four movies. And make no mistake, like, Rise of the Silver Surfer, as far as I know, didn't have any studio interference. This one, though, I feel like if we ever saw the real cut that Josh Trank made, it might be somewhere in like the good tier, or even it's there, it's fine, but it's just not. We're probably never going to see it, and that's okay. Let's do the X-Men movies. No, actually, we're going to do Spider-Man first. Spider-Man 2002 is exceptional. Raimi's trilogy is untouched. It really isn't. Like, it's actually kind of crazy. That's why Spider-Man 2 goes in the blueprint. Spider-Man 2 is legitimately one of the best comic book adaptations I think I have ever seen in my entire life. Spider-Man 2 is incredible. Spider-Man 3 even, I'd say, is better than anything the MCU has produced regarding Spider-Man. Both of these are exceptional. I don't care what you say about Spider-Man 3. That jazz scene and all, I don't care. It's a great movie. Amazing Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man's good. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's competently made. And I say that because I almost put it in bad. But it's got its moments. It's okay. Amazing Spider-Man 2 kind of pisses me off a little bit, to be honest with you. It's a frustrating movie. It really is. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, but it's good. I don't think it's great. I don't even think it's exceptional. But Across the Spider-Verse is exceptional. I think this is a much better film than Into the Spider-Verse. Where is the next row of movies we're going to do? I'm saving MCU for last, I think. Well, let's do the Sonyverse movies. We got Venom in here. And the first Venom I thought was pretty good. And I'd even say that with the right time, if I went back and watched Let There Be Carnage, I might think it's yummy garbage, but for now it's there, it's fine. I didn't hate this as much as everybody else did. But it has its fun moments. It's not like terrible. Morbius is a pretty bad movie. Actually, no. It's literal doggy doo-doo. I can't believe I thought about that. Like, I haven't seen Venom 3, so I'm not going to put it in here. But if I had to guess where it's going to go, I'd probably say it's there, it's fine, or maybe even competently made. So I'm going to say it's going to be in there whenever I come back and do this again. So we're not going to touch Venom 3, but I did see Madam Web. I love me Dakota Johnson. I think this is an awful, awful, awful movie. But the thing with Madam Web that I'd say is at least Madam Web is aware that it's awful. It's not trying to be anything more. It's just having fun. It's yummy garbage. Kraven the Hunter. It's not a terrible movie, because I saw it pretty recently, and I remember thinking, like, it pissed me off more that it wasn't bad, because at least if it was bad, I'd be able to have fun with it, but it's not good enough to where I'd say, like, it warrants me wanting to even talk about it. We're gonna go through some of like the older Marvel films that aren't tied to any sort of existing universe. So we're gonna do Daredevil. And Daredevil, despite what others will say, isn't just yummy garbage. Daredevil's actually a pretty good movie. I don't know why it went before Venom, but Daredevil's actually a pretty good movie. Elektra, I'm gonna give this one the benefit of the doubt. Competently made. I'm being very generous with a lot of these. I think Hulk is the last one in the series that's like Marvel, but not MCU and not X-Men, because I'm saving X-Men for next. We're gonna do X-Men right after this. Don't worry, y'all. We're almost there. Hulk is actually a pretty exceptional film. I think that Hulk 2003 is trying a lot of things. And for 2003, I mean, this movie really holds up. You go back and watch it, and there's a lot of great stuff in there. Even Eric Bana's Hulk is crazy good. Some of the CG's a bit dated, I'll give it that. But for the most part, Hulk looks pretty good. We're gonna do X-Men now. And the thing about X-Men is I think there's some the good ones are really good, but the bad ones are just middling at best. The first X-Men, it's there. It's fine. Nothing crazy. But X-Men 2, X-Men 2 is a great movie. X-Men 3, X-Men 3 kind of pisses me off. But it's there. It's fine. It's not the worst thing I've seen. X-Men Origins Wolverine. It's competently made. I mean, like, it pisses me off a little bit, but I can't really put it in bad. And it does have its moments where I think, like, oh, wow, like, this is okay. X-Men First Class. I think this is one of the better ones. Exceptional picture. The Wolverine. Don't hate this. Don't love this. It's got some good stuff in there, but it's also got some really shitty stuff. X-Men Days of Future Past. And this kind of counts for the road cut as well. Like, we're gonna just say that this is both of them because I think they're both equally good. There's just one I prefer to watch over the other. And the Days of Future Past is exceptional. It's got some really great stuff in there. X-Men Apocalypse we got now. It's competently made. It's not the worst thing I've seen. Logan is great. I'm gonna put it up there with X-Men 2. I love Logan. It's its own movie. You don't have to watch anything else. That's not to say you shouldn't watch anything else, but you know, it's up there. We've got Deadpool. The first Deadpool I really liked when I saw it for the first time, but now I think it's just good. Got Deadpool 2, and I think it's just as good as the first one. Nothing crazy. It's got the New Mutants, which unfortunately also just kind of competently made. X-Men Dark Phoenix, competently made. Nothing crazy there. I'm not dogging on that one either, because it does have its moments. It's got some little glimmers of hope in there. I was going to do Deadpool 3, but I realized now it's part of the MCU, so I got to wait to do that one. Let's take care of these other films that are like just sort of miscellaneous. Got Robert Rodriguez's Sin City. I know that Robert Rodriguez did this movie, but the fact that the poster says Frank Miller's Sin City is kind of funny to me. But I think the first Sin City is honestly really good. It's exceptional. Which hurts me to say that A Dame to Kill For is just, it's there. It's fine. I rewatched it once, and it definitely disappointed me when I watched it. I'll say that. The Kingsman, Secret Service. I think the first one's pretty good, but I also feel like if I went back and watched it, I probably wouldn't like it that much. The Golden Circle, this is a pretty bad movie. It's a bad movie. I feel like there is a massive gap in quality between the first Kingsman and the second one. The King's Man, doggy doo-doo. I said it. This is awful movie. Red, Retired Extremely Dangerous. I think this is good. It took me so long to be able to get to this movie. I don't know why. Red 2 is also pretty good. I think they're equally as good. The first Kick-Ass movie, dude. Kick-Ass. I think the first Kick-Ass is exceptional. I love the Kick-Ass graphic novels. They are awesome. Which really pains me to say, because Kick-Ass 2 is competently made at best. We've got Zack Snyder's 300, which a lot of people hold in very high regard, but I do not. It's good. I feel like I really used to like 300 quite a bit, and lately I just think about it and I'm like, it's not that good. Rise of an Empire, it's a guilty pleasure. This is yummy garbage. I like the second one. It's fun. The Crow. Crow is an exceptional piece of work. Great film. The latest Crow movie, just bad. Nothing really there. What else we got? We got Spawn, which it might be a good movie. In this, the special effects, like the CG might just look bad. This might be a good movie, and it might just be that like the CG just looks so bad that people can't look past it. So I'm just gonna put it in competently made, because who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe it goes back to bad. Who knows? But for now, it's going to competently made. Wanted. Wanted is... I actually don't know if this is good. I feel like it probably isn't. But for now, it's going in yummy garbage. Because I think about this movie a lot. I also don't... Whatever, I'm leaving it there. It's staying. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is exceptional. I love Scott Pilgrim. Technically, it's a manga that it's based on, I believe, but it's in the list. It's in the list. Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. This movie kind of came and went, but I have rewatched it. I have gone out of my way to watch it again. I even own the film. It's there. It's fine. Cowboys and Aliens. This might be a bad movie, but I tell you right now, 13-year-old me was eating this shit up. I loved this movie growing up for some reason. And it's realistically, it might be incompetently made, but for now it's staying in yummy garbage. History of Violence, a David Cronenberg film. This is exceptional. I love History of Violence. Oh, we're almost there. We're almost to the MCU, guys. Hold tight. Atomic Blonde. I feel like I liked this when it came out, and I haven't gone back and watched it again, so it might not be very good, but it's going in good because I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. If I liked it when I saw it, it's more than likely a pretty good movie. V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta is great. This is one of the best graphic novel adaptations I've ever watched. Incredible work there. It's not enough to be in the blueprint for me, but I do respect this movie and I hold it in very high regard for that reason. So it's up there. We've got David Fincher's The Killer, which I didn't know was based on a graphic novel until very recently. And I don't know. I'd say it's exceptional. I might come back to this one and put it in great someday, but for now it's in the exceptional. I know that Tom Cruise and Joseph Kosinski, I think, did this movie Oblivion, and I've had people who have really liked this movie, who have tried to get me to watch it. I've watched it twice. And both times I was just like, I was underwhelmed. And I feel like it's because they keep hyping it up for me. So for now, it's going to go in good. Because it's not like it's enjoyable. It has great ideas and great moments, but I didn't love it when I watched it. It's a good movie. Snowpiercer. One of Bong Joon-ho's weakest in my opinion, but this is still a pretty good movie. It's exceptional. We're going to go ahead and do the MCU. Fuck it, why not? And then fucking Aquaman is still in there. Iron Man, the first Iron Man. Okay, actually I need to make this screen smaller. There we go. Fuck, I made it way too small. I'm just gonna have to scroll. Sorry guys. Bear with me. Okay. Iron Man 2008 is a great movie. I firmly believe that. Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2's it's good. It's good. Not great, but it's good. Thor, my god, go back and watch this movie. Every shot is a Dutch angle and it drives me nuts when I'm watching it. It's there, it's fine, it has its moments. Captain America, the first Avenger, I actually liked it more than most people, but it's exceptional. Great piece of work. The Avengers is also pretty exceptional. I think the first one is anyway. It's got a lot of fun moments. It was the first moment I felt like there was something really happening here. And there's got to be one that... Oh, Incredible Hulk. Incredible Hulk was actually second. I don't know why it's all the way over here. But whatever. This is pissing me off that this is out of order. Now I'm going to have to think about what comes next. I think The Incredible Hulk is pretty good. I actually really like Edward Norton as the Hulk. So do with that what you will. And I think I put this in here twice at this point. Yeah, I did. So when I finish this list, it's gonna have some down here, but I'm just gonna have to like keep track of what I have. This is so stupid. Why did it do this? Okay, Iron Man 3 I believe is next. Iron Man 3 kind of pisses me off, but it's there. It's fine. It's not the worst thing I've seen. It's there though. Thor: The Dark World. I think Thor: The Dark World gets a lot more shit than it deserves. I actually think Thor: The Dark World's a pretty good movie. God, my cat is going crazy, dude. We've got Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which is also a pretty good movie. Next, I believe, is Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is a great film. I think the first Guardians of the Galaxy is legitimately like one of the best MCU films. Incredible stuff being done there. It's the only film besides like the first few entries that feels like like you can watch it on its own and it works and you don't have to watch anything else. Avengers: Age of Ultron is pretty good. It has its moments, but there's also a lot of moments in there that just feel kind of dumb. Ant-Man is in here somewhere. Where's Ant-Man? There it is. There it is. I think Ant-Man is good. Yeah, it's a good movie, now I think about it. I think Ant-Man's pretty solid. Captain America Civil War. Captain America Civil War pisses me off a little bit. And the reason it pisses me off is because on paper, it's not a very good movie. But visually, you got superheroes fighting. You got Spider-Man flying around. Iron Man's beating the shit out of other people. They're fighting at an airport. What do you want me to say? All right? It's fun. It's a fun movie. But it doesn't really make sense. You have the entire setup of that movie is them saying, we're being really destructive and we have to stop. We have to start taking accountability. We have to start doing everything that we can to stop destroying shit. And then what do they do halfway through the movie? They destroy an airport. It makes no sense. But it's a fun time. So it's going to go in good. Doctor Strange. I remember really liking the first Doctor Strange when I saw it, but like I've gone back and watched it since to show my girlfriend all these movies, and it was fine. Not as good as I remember, but it was okay. The second Guardians of the Galaxy is still pretty good. It's exceptional. James Gunn, not as good as one, but you're still up there, bud. Don't worry. We're gonna make sure we come back to you. Spider-Man: Homecoming it's there. It's fine. I don't love this Spider-Man movie. I don't love any of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. They're all just kind of fine. I've never loved them. Thor: Ragnarok also kind of pisses me off. The entire tone of these movies changed, but it's still decent. We got Black Panther next. And Black Panther is exceptional. It's a great film. I love Black Panther. And we have, where is it? Avengers: Infinity War, Endgame, and Captain Marvel. And actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to switch it up a little bit, and I'll tell you why. Because I see Avengers: Infinity War and Avengers: Endgame as one movie. So we're going to do the two movies that kind of fall between them first. We're going to do Ant-Man and the Wasp, because it's there. It's fine. It's a very forgettable movie. Without the crutches of Avengers: Infinity War and like all of that build up to Endgame, this movie does nothing. Literally nothing. Captain Marvel, I like more than most people. I do think it unfortunately has a lot of issues with its pacing and the writing, specifically the pacing, but it's good. It's enjoyable. I like it more than most people. In Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame, these are both one movie to me. These are part 1 and part 2. And both of these they're great. I like both of these quite a bit. And it has nothing to do with the writing or the direction. It's quite literally just 10 years of me being a little boy, growing up with superhero movies, finally getting payoff for it. This was the peak right here. It sucks to say it that way, but it really was. Spider-Man: No Way Home, which I have fun with No Way Home. It's not like as bad as Homecoming, but it's a step up for me. Shang-Chi, I think, yeah, Shang-Chi is competently made, brother. Very boring movie. Nothing happens in this movie. Literally nothing happens. Oh, my bad. Hold on. Black Widow actually came before Shang-Chi, but we're gonna pretend like I didn't do that. Black Widow also kind of falls into the same category. I could not tell you what the plot of Black Widow is. I've watched it many times, but I could not tell you what the plot of Black Widow is. So what is next? What is next? We have Eternals. And hot take on Eternals here. Eternals is an exceptional film. It is. It really is. And let me tell you why. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about Eternals, but I'm going to defend it when I can. It's trying things. It's doing things that the other MCU films are not. It's made by an actual filmmaker who wants to try different ideas. And unfortunately, as you're watching this movie unfold, you can just kind of feel Kevin Feige with his little paws on it, like trying to make his little MCU-isms in it. And it sucks because it feels like it's like trying to make a movie and not just a freaking product. I don't think Eternals gets the credit it deserves. Like, yes, Harry Styles being in that shit at the very end doesn't really make sense. It teases Blade and nothing happens after that. But the movie as itself, if you don't think about any of the other, like, post-credits, cameo bullshit, this is a pretty solid movie. And no one gives it the credit it deserves. Spider-Man, No Way Home. It's there. It's fine. Listen, I get why people love this movie. I understand why I liked it when I saw it for the first time. But I go back and watch it, and it's not very good. It's just, like, nothing happens in that movie. There is so much that they are trying to do in terms of nostalgia that they're trying to just nail in on you, and nothing is of substance here. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I actually think Multiverse of Madness is pretty good. Sam Raimi kind of did a decent job with this. Thor, Love and Thunder. We don't have to talk about this. It's doggy doo-doo. This is legitimately one of the worst movies I've ever seen, even outside of the MCU. It's actually kind of crazy. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. It's there. It's fine. I was pretty annoyed when this movie came out, actually, because I remember when it was coming out, there was a lot of people who were making videos about it saying that it's like a deep exploration of grief. And I don't think that anybody watching a movie like in the MCU really understands what it means to make a movie that's a deep exploration of grief. So when someone said that about that movie, I was just like, shut up. It is such a boring movie. Nothing happens. Quantumania? Yeah. Competently made. That is the best thing I can say about this movie. What do I have left? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's good. This was the first one that kind of disappointed me out of the MCU. Like, anything in the MCU that I have in these lists, I kind of knew what I was walking into. I knew it wasn't going to be, like, exceptional if it wasn't exceptional. But this was the first movie in the MCU that I walked into, like, really thinking, like, okay, like, we got a great, we have an exceptional. It might even be the blueprint. But then I watched it and I was kind of let down by it. Oh, The Marvels. It's there. It's fine. I remember more about this movie than I do about some of the others, even some that are competently made, so I can say that about it. It might be that I've seen it more recently, but I don't know. I think these movies get a lot of shit. I don't think they deserve it. Oh, we've got the king of fan service right here. Deadpool and Wolverine. I think that's it. That is it. We have the whole list done, with the exception of Venom: The Last Dance and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Oh, hold on. Captain America: Brave New World isn't here. And the reason it's not here is because I compiled all of these images before it came out. But I have an answer for you on where it would go. It would go when it's there. It's fine, because I saw it. So, yeah. That's it. We're done here. This is today's video. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you watched all the way through, I'm curious, where do any of these films fall for you? Do you have any disagreements on anything I put in here? What would you move around? Would you add any sort of categories? Would you move stuff to a different category? Do you feel like much of what I put in this list was justified? I'm curious, what is in your guys' yummy garbage list? Comment down below. Let me know. Thanks for watching. As always, I'll see you in the next one.